individual responsibility, a willingness to work on behalf of your school, whether in student government or in the orchestra or on the playing field, a willingness to give back to your school, your community, your country.
Today, we are upholding a wonderful Pingry tradition. Tradition is what makes Pingry great. Our traditions of morning Monday meetings, button-downs and balladeers serenades, of legendary SAC performances, Blue Army cheers, and the Friday Night Lights football make this school one we love and one we are proud of. It's amazing how Pingry has honored the tradition of the honor code for so many years. Though we respect tradition, Pingry's not traditional. Though we honor the past, upholding the same moral code that our classmates for decades have signed onto in the honor code. We are a progressive, changing, exciting school. I mean, just look around. The staircases have changed. There are mysterious color blocks on the wall. We have folders now as mailboxes, laptops in every class, interactive smart boards, pushing educational and learning boundaries to become one of the most innovative and prestigious schools in the state. I admire this. Pingry has stepped forward into the future while keeping its roots in its honor code past. This year, I challenge you to examine the traditions in your life. I challenge you to take steps forward socially, academically, and athletically, all the while honoring Pingry and the support it promises to give you this year. Try something new. Go out for squash, try the violas, start a muffin baking business, I don't know, just try asking more questions, engaging in your classes, giving your 100% effort, your 100% attention to your teachers.
To go to a school that encourages you to always be honest, to think with integrity, and to act with high morality is something that is really unusual. When we all abide by the honor code, Pingry is the best place it can be. The honor code is an incredible privilege we have, and it allows each of us, no matter who we are, the opportunity to reach our full potential. It is my hope that we will all aspire to the common goal of upholding integrity and respect during our lives here at Pingry and beyond.
When you get to June 10th, the last day of exams, don't be in a position where you look back with regret for opportunities not explored, for challenges not met, and conversations not had. And don't measure your success just by the grade or the score, but by your courage, your effort, and your engagement. Let's have an outstanding year. It's within all of us.
Pingry is fortunate in having a truly extraordinary faculty. And the heart and soul of that faculty is those teachers who have dedicated themselves to service in this school for more than 25 years, the McGee Street. So before I begin my remarks, please join me in recognizing this exceptional group of people who have collectively served the Pingry School for 1,133 years. Only half of that is Miller. I'd like to begin my remarks to you this morning with a short reflection on tomatoes. I offer for your consideration 2 tomatoes. This one, with an unblemished skin, grew on a plant that was raised in soil or some other medium that served to support its roots. It was fed a fertilizer cocktail that supplied its nutritional needs. It was kept pest-free with applications of insecticides. It was protected from competition for nutrients, light, and moisture by the application of herbicides, and kept safe from marauding microscopic pathogens by the use of systemic antibacterial and fungicidal sprays. It has that all-important attribute, uniformity. This tomato, slightly scarred, bright red on the bottom, still a little green on top. I grew this tomato myself. I watched it develop from a flower to a small green fruit, growing larger and larger until it eventually began to redden and finally was ready to be picked this week. This tomato came from soil that was enriched by compost and mulched by hay. It was visited by countless insects, and among its weedy neighbors were thistles, crabgrass, and milkweed. At times this summer, it received such abundant moisture that it nearly drowned. At others, it wilted in the heat of rainless weeks. In fact, this particular tomato had several near-death experiences, as 3 of its vine mates fell prey to crows, which, to my surprise, turned out to be big fans of tomatoes. As for uniformity, no 2 tomatoes from that plant to be said to look alike in any but the most general way, and that is that even the uninitiated could tell they were all tomatoes. But if I were to blindfold each tomato lover in this room and give you a slice from each of these tomatoes, I guarantee that you would find this first tomato bland and uninteresting, and the second one sweet, flavorful, and complex. I do not present this as a cry to arms against the chemical industry or large-scale agribusiness, nor even as a plug for the Green Group, although if you want to become a garden volunteer, I'm sure they would love your help. Rather, I offer the tomato as a metaphor. It's not a perfect metaphor, and as I look out at all of you assembled here in this room, it's clear to me, thankfully, where the metaphor breaks down. The flaw is this: neither of these tomatoes before you on the podium had any say in its fate. Some farmer in California or Florida or maybe the Netherlands raised this formulaic tomato, and I subjected this battered but delicious fruit to its risky life. In sharp contrast, each of you can decide for yourself what path to follow, what risks to take, even when, where, or whether to put down roots. This is the beginning of a new year. Should you wish, you could choose to be the human equivalent of this tomato. Sitting in a bin, taking no chances, watching the year go by, hoping that you were enough like the tomato or student next to you that you could fly under the radar, to mix metaphors. On the other hand, if in the relatively safe and fertile ground that is the Pingry School you choose to challenge your assumptions, reject simplistic arguments or answers, and take intellectual, artistic, and athletic risks, you may get a few bumps and bruises along the way, but no one will ever be able to accuse you of being bland and uninterested. Now, to stretch the metaphor, you may be thinking that there are risks in being the tomato that stands out. And certainly if you paid any attention to the news this summer, some of the major stories were about what can happen when people are different, when they are the other. Some of the stories were primarily about rhetoric, and they even seemed entertaining at times if you forgot what the rhetoric meant and how much that rhetoric resonated with some groups. Some of the stories were more obviously tragic, such as the ongoing migrant crisis in Europe. So what makes Pingry different from the American electorate or the civil war in Syria? Lots of things, I know. But there are two components to the answer to that question that I want to touch on today. One is the strong sense of community here. Those of you who have been at Pingry for any length of time know what I'm talking about. And those of you who are new to the school probably sense it already. Often, a strong sense of community is based on things that are shared. As a result, there's a fine line between community and exclusion. For example, if one's community is made up of people who share an attribute, perhaps religion or race, or even an interest in golf or video games, it becomes easy to target and marginalize those who don't share that identity. This can lead to everything from bullying and hate speech to wars. Here, however, the community is created by shared values and experiences. And chief among those values is the honor code. This is the second component of what makes Pingry different that I wanted to talk about. Neatly stacked beneath this podium are the hundreds of signatures that you brought up on stage a few minutes ago and gave to Maddie and Holly, signifying all of our pledges to live by the tenets of the honor code. The Pingry honor code is different from many honor codes. It asks a great deal of us, and it does so primarily by articulating clear expectations, both for our behavior and our attitude. It's this latter expectation that sets our honor code apart, and it's what contributes to making this an extraordinary community in which to live, learn, and grow. It asks that our attitude be one of personal integrity and genuine concern for others. It asks that we honor the rights of others. And it asks that we act as responsible members of the community working for the common good rather than solely for personal advantage. If each of us is successful in holding ourselves to these expectations and supporting others in achieving them as well, then regardless of what kinds of tomatoes we are, we'll have a fantastic year. I know that each of you can do this. I expect that each of you will. It is, in the words of the Honor Code, essentially a matter of attitude and spirit. Let's have a great year.